everybody. I'm very pleased to welcome to Euge of Cyhra Band to Alaridos Radio. Euge, hi, how you doing?
Hi, thank you. I'm fine. Thanks for having me. And yeah, just came back from a vacation and I did a lot of skiing. So I feel energetic.
Yes, of course. It's very important.
Yes.
I'm very glad to have you today. Thank you, of course, for accepting the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you. My pleasure.
Euge, sorry, let's start by talking about your musical background.
Mhm.
When did you fall in love with metal music?
Oh, well, let me see.
Yeah.
Probably in when I was under 10, like when you get to school and then there's older kids wearing all those vests that has metal bands, and you're like, whoa, what is this? And then oh, it's scary. I still remember the first time I heard Slayer, I was like, whoa, this is scary. But I like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, very young, long before I started to play guitar. I was probably like in Finland and I guess many other countries. You go to school at the age of 7, so probably 7, 8 years old. First it was the kind of what was hot in then, because we're talking 80s now, so obviously 80s music, Van Halen, Motley Crue, and then I discovered, like I said, Slayer and a little bit heavier bands, and then some older guys, like This Is Cool Band, Creator or whatever. And but yeah, that's yeah I was quite young.
Yes, of course. Very interesting groups, very interesting groups. In that case, I love Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah, I mean Iron Maiden. That is. I mean, I have most of their albums on vinyl, because then when I was, because I was born in the 70s, so I grew up in the 80s, so that was vinyl, and then at some point it was CD. But I have many, and what I liked about Iron Maiden, the open vinyls and the big like the artwork, and it was amazing. Like, wow, these are like superheroes, these guys.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Eddie is wonderful. It is
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. I mean, to this day, Iron Maiden is although I haven't listened that much the newer stuff, but I actually saw them last summer at the Sweden Rock. It was a great band, great sing along. I really like Bruce Dickinson. I think he was in a really good mood, because he made a lot of jokes about himself aging and stuff, but it was a very entertaining show.
Wow,
And
it's
that's, I think,
amazing.
how it should be.
Yeah, it's amazing. Euge, how you describe the song of your music in your third album? Is correct?
Yeah, yeah. So the the third album, well, it was the first album that we, mainly me and Jake, we produced and recorded ourselves, and I mixed that album also, and Jacob Hansen mastered it. Jacob Hansen has produced and recorded and mixed our two first albums. I think it's always really hard to say something about your own music, because what I realized, that if I feel a certain way, then because I feel it's a bit heavier and darker, but then I also heard people saying that it was more like more melodic and poppier, which I was like, oh, well, I didn't hear it that way, but I guess it's in the ear of the beholder. But at least what we had in mind was to, have something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So there's your typical Gothenburg, twin harmonies. Then we added a little bit, at least how we hear it, more a little bit like American grooves, like Life is a Hurricane, almost kind of like, the working title of that song was Linkin Park, even though it don't sound anything like Linkin Park, but that was the kind of that bouncing American riff. So that was our goal, to have a little bit more that, and a little bit maybe some, because like I said, I'm 80s kid, and I really like that style of music and like to play. I try to have a little bit of that in there too, and we've had that on our previous albums as well. But yeah, I think it's a little bit maybe darker and heavier, and the reason we produced it ourselves and I mixed it, because we all, especially me and Jake, we really heard the album in our heads, how we want it to sound, even before we started to write, because we discussed that what we would like to do, and then it kind of naturally we ended up producing and recording, and then I ended up mixing the album, because we had a really clear vision how we want it to be and how we want it to sound, so we just decided to do it ourselves.
Okay, including the artistic concept behind the album cover?
The artwork is done by Gustavo Sazes. He's from, I think he's from Portugal.
Yeah.
So I might be wrong. Sorry, Gustavo. We've been working with Gustavo many years. So how it usually works, he has done all of our artwork. So we send him the music and the lyrics, and then a little bit about the ideas, and then he comes up with the artwork. Sometimes we tweak it a little bit, but I think what he sent us now, if I remember correct, was just like, yeah, it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that is has always been Gustavo Sazes who has done the artwork. He's kind of our go-to guy. He's a great artist.
Yes. The cover of the album is amazing. I like it very much.
Yeah,
I
it's
like it very much.
It has that, because the title came up with because the world is now, it's such a tumultuous whatever vertigo thing, and then I think I originally, let's just call it Vertigo, but then I think our manager Adam Sewell suggested, how about Vertigo Trigger, and the Vertigo Trigger. Yeah, that kind of works. And it's the first album that we don't have that song of that title, because on the previous album was No Halos in Hell, there was a song, and then Letters to Myself, there was a song called Letter to Myself.
Wow.
But now we just felt that it kind of describes the album, from, because it has a mellow piano thing to really heavy, I think the heaviest stuff we've done, and the world how it is nowadays, and the lyrics. So I think the cover and the title represents the album quite well.
Yeah, of course. Euge, what do you think of digital impact on music with social media and mainstream platform?
Well, I think it's good thing, and well, I think it's good, because before, because I'm that old that I have done albums when and I've been in the music business long enough that I remember the times when there were more money involved. Or at least it felt that way. But the problem previously was that let's say, because I haven't done solo albums myself, released them myself, and now with the digital platform, I can release it worldwide, and anyone can basically release it worldwide. You know, I have, and we as Cyhra, we have fans all over the world. People from all over the world are listening, because before you were dependent on the record label, and let's say if you have a Finnish record label, okay, it will be released in Finland, but then you need to find a label in Sweden, Norway, Germany, and it wasn't guaranteed that you know, it was, your music was automatically released worldwide, only locally. But nowadays it's worldwide digitally, and then like with Cyhra, I think in most territories there's also CD and vinyl, and the artists always complain about that there's not that much royalties, and I kind of agree, but I think we have to remember that it's different time, because back in the day, if you sold like 10,000 albums, let's say, in Finland, that meant a lot of money. But nowadays, 10,000 streams, it's nothing. I mean, I think like million streams is probably quite equivalent. So at least I've already started to think like that the figures are much bigger, because now we are, you know, in album sales, let's say in Finland has 5 million people. If you sell 10,000, great. But now when it's available worldwide, if you stream 1 million, and how many people are listening? So it's, I think it's great. And nowadays there's this new streaming platform called Rock, which I think is really cool, because I don't know how, if you know, but like Spotify works that in a way that it's not fair, because the more streams you have, the more money you have.
Yeah.
But with Rock, this new platform, I hope they will succeed. Let's say if you listen only Cyhra, then the money will go to Cyhra and not to Madonna, and then go down. So I think that is the right direction. That is the only thing that has been bugging me quite a bit, that it's not really fair, because it's almost like a pyramid scheme. So the biggest ones gets the biggest share, and then, but now hopefully this Rock ROKK platform, because they will, you know, the artists will get the money based on their actual stream. So I think that is the right direction and the right way of doing that, and I think that will help artists a lot more in the future. But short answer, I think digital is it's great.
Your third album is physical format and digital format. Is okay?
Yeah.
Euge, I would love if you send a message for the people in general to encourage buy CD, physical CD, please.
Well, I mean, yes, I think it's the physical. It's, how do I put it? I'm not encouraging anyone to buy physical stuff. I think it's a personal choice. I think that's how it should be. If you like vinyl, if you like this, great. If you like CD and you want to buy that, great. If you like streaming, I haven't bought a physical. I don't remember. But when I stream, I still stream music like old school way. So I listen to full albums, and because nowadays, at least with Apple Music, you can have there's the credits also. So who wrote the songs, who was the mixing engineer, there's lyrics. I think as long as people listen and buy music, whether it's the monthly payment for a streaming service or physical CD. It's really great. And I don't even know if like these pirate things exists anymore, because I mean, Spotify is an Apple Music. It's I think like 12 euros or whatever, the full without commercials. You can have all the music in the world, and the more you listen, everybody benefits. Obviously, I think it's it's always appreciated if someone has took the time to go to a record store or order a physical. That is great, but honestly, from artist perspective, because making vinyls and CDs is a lot more expensive than making digital copies. The money what we artists get, it's at least in my experience, it's not that much a difference. I mean, if people will suddenly buy million Cyhra albums like physicals, yeah, then you would see that, but it's still, we're talking like the figures aren't that big, because we actually we stream pretty well, and even my solo stuff, so I've actually gotten, you know, royalties and stuff, which I'm fine. So yeah, but I mean, obviously CD, vinyl, it's great, because I mean, if people don't buy those, then record labels won't make those, and it's always a really nice thing when you worked for months for an album, and then when you get it physically in your hands, and you're like, it's always like, whoa, it's not the same experience than looking your screen. Oh, there it is. Oh, it doesn't feel anything. Oh.
It's the same feeling that
But when you get a physical, it's like it's like materializes your work, and then whatever is bonus, if people like it and buy it, that's just a bonus. At least to me, it's the reasons are pretty selfish. So I just want to make music that I need to get out of my body, and I'm really happy that there's record labels who are willing to give me money or us money to do that. And then when it's done, we're already won. And if people will buy those and stream those, and we actually generate money, that is that to me, that's just a bonus.
It's the same feel that my middle sister gave me for Christmas. She gave me a Tarja Turunen CD.
Tarja, yeah.
The feeling is amazing when I open the present and I see the CD physical.
I mean, that's something that you never, you know, obviously the music is the same digitally, but there is, I agree that there is something when you actually, it's like a book. I mean, I like to, I read a lot. Many times I read via iPad, but then when my wife actually bought me the James Hetfield Messenger book about his guitars, and the feeling when you and then you can smell it.
Like a child. The feeling is
but I mean,
like a child.
You know, we're all. I hope I never grow up.
Yeah.
Age is just a number.
Oh, yeah. Only physical. It's never mind. Euge, could you share with us, please, if there is any experience on a stage that you especially remember, maybe concert or live or streaming?
Well, one thing came to mind, which was a really I mean, on our the second album, No Halos in Hell, there's a song called Battle from Within, which is a true story. So it's about Jake, our vocalist, brother committed suicide years ago, and Jake never had spoken about that. And then when we recorded the album and listened to that, and I told Jake that, man, these lyrics, these are so realistic that I can almost feel, almost feel that this has happened. And then Jake, that was the first time that Jake said that that has happened. That song is about me and my brother. So that was like, wow. But then when we released the album and we made a video where there was fans with the signs and they participated, and then one message, I think we were in Linköping, Sweden. I still remember this. From an email or to our Facebook or something, that a girl who she had thought to commit a suicide, but when she heard that song, she decided to fight and stay alive. I mean, even now, so we were like, so we basically saved young girls' lives with our music. And that's something that it's something that you can't buy with the money. That's the kind of like this is why we do this, you know. It's not about the, I mean, record says, oh, fuck you, whatever, but when you actually you saved someone's life with the song that it's a
connection. It's the connection with
I mean, it's amazing. And I'm that was like, that's it. If I die now, I die as a happy man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, but that's probably the best. The best is a terrible word because a girl was in a bad shape, but it turned out that she decided to choose life. So that is I mean, it's hard to even describe, because, you know, I'm sitting with the guitar trying to come with, and then blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden 6 months later, the song me and Jake, or we wrote, saved someone's life. Like, wow. Sometimes you doubt yourself, like, does this make any sense? Should I get a real job? But after these kind of things, like, yeah, it does make all the sense in the world.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah. We're getting serious here, but
wow,
yeah.
my goodness. Sorry.
Yeah, I had that when we got the message, like literally we cried, like, what? Like, like, damn.
How was the process of recording the album? Were there any special techniques that you used?
Yes, it was a little bit different than the previous ones, because we did this during the COVID pandemic. So we during the recording we never met each other. We were in the same place. So most of the songs me and Jake wrote, and then Marcus participated also on a couple, and Jesper and Marcus wrote one. But basically we wrote ideas in me here in my studio, Jake at his, and then we just send files back and forth. And then I went to Stockholm, Gothenburg, Sweden, to Jake's studio, I think once or twice during the pandemic when it was, well, I could travel with a mask and just kind of finalize those ideas, because it's quite time consuming when you're sending files, but then when you just sit and then you get a lot of stuff done. So we basically kept sending the files, and then when we felt like, okay, now we need to meet, we need to finalize these songs. So I flew to Gothenburg, like, okay, this is how it is, cool. Then because we used programmed drums, modern MIDI drums on the demos, and then when the songs were kind of done, I did a mixes of the songs with the demo drums, the program drums, and without, and sent them to Alex to Germany. And he went to a studio to record real drums so he could listen what we had in mind. Okay, we obviously said that these are just programmed drum beats, but you get the idea, play them like, you know, you will play as a real drummer. So then he recorded the drums, sent the drums to me. Then Jake did vocals and keyboards at his studio. And then when he was done, he sent them to me. Then Marcus played his guitars at his studio and so everybody sent their stuff to me. And then I recorded my guitars and bass. I played bass on the album here. And then I mixed it here. And then when I had mixed everything, I sent them to Denmark.
Oh.
Jacob Hansen, Jacob Hansen is kind of, because I've been doing mixing professionally like 4 or 5 years, and Jacob has been kind of like my mentor. So I sent him the mixes. What do you think? I was like, man, you become really good. This works fine. So then he mastered the songs, whatever he did. But then when the songs came back, my mixes, they sounded a little bit better. And that is good mastering. So Jacob did a great work. I've been actually working with Jacob because I mixed. That's almost kind of like my day job. So I have mixed many albums by other bands, and usually then I send them to Jacob for mastering because he just makes everything a little bit better. So that was the process, and it took like probably a year from when we started to write the songs, like, you know, sending files until the album was done. So it was a little bit different because No Halos in Hell we recorded at Jacob Hansen's studio in Denmark. We were all there like 3 or 4 weeks, and then that was it, like old school, same room, played. Well, everything was done separately. So but I think the end result is great. It just by doing it like this remotely, it just takes more time, because No Halos in Hell took 3 weeks to record. These took like 3 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean the only thing that matters is the end result, and the album is just like how we wanted it to be, how we heard it in our head. So it worked fine.
Yeah. Do you plan to go on tour, recording new songs, maybe a concert in Gran Canaria, maybe?
Yeah.
Between us.
Yes, we have planned, and because the thing is that nowadays, I mean, because the COVID, you know, everything was out, and after the COVID, there's so many bands touring. Obviously, the biggest bands gets the venues first. So the album was ready long before it was released. Like originally it was supposed to come in early 23, and we had a Japan tour where we actually played the album because that's what was agreed, but it was delayed because there were just no slots for touring. And then when we released it last I think it was October something, there were supposed to be tours, but it didn't make sense money-wise, because everything was still so expensive, the gasoline, the buses. So we just like, I mean, we can't afford to do it. But now I actually, just before this interview, I talked with Jake. So we have a Finnish tour next month, and then some Sweden shows, and there is a European tour. Kind of, it's not confirmed, and I'm probably saying too much already. But yes, we are planning, and we've been planning to do. I mean, obviously, we as an artist, we would like to play everywhere, Gran Canaria especially. But you know, it's not that easy that you just, hey, let's go there, because there's a booking agent, managements, and then there's money, and everybody wants their share. And if it looks like that at the end of the day, you're going minus, because it's like it is artist based. So then it's a little bit like, it's can be, because we all, I mean, Cyhra, we get our money doing different things. I do mixing, I do YouTube. And if you go on tour where you're actually losing money, then you're actually losing more, because then you can't do and Jake is producing bands, I'm producing. So it needs to make financially sense. I mean, in the perfect world, we will do an album, we will do Gran Canaria 10 times. and enjoy the weather. But as we know, the world is far from perfect, so we just gotta try to make our best. But yeah, I mean, the album is great, and we because with the previous albums, we have done Japan, Scandinavia, Europe, USA. Now we've only done like Sweden and Finland, but hopefully, I really hope, because the album is so good, and many people have been asking so much us that the tours that are being planned at the moment, let's say that they actually happen. But in the music business, I mean, if I would have done all the tours that were planned during my career, I would probably tour the world 100 times. Now I've only done like maybe 20.
Yeah. maybe. Finger crossed.
let's hope. Let's hope. I mean, I've done my share. We did a great album, write the songs. Now it's other people above my pay grade to figure out whatever needs to be. I'm always like, just let me know a few weeks in advance. I'll be there whenever you need me to play guitar with Cyhra. So, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. One more time, Alaridos is your home musical home. In me, in the band, you have a sister. Whatever you need, I'm here. To conclude, what advice would you give to emerging bands, emerging singers, starting in the metal scene?
Well, I think the best advice that in Finland we have a thing called sisu, which is kind of like gut. So it's like when you smash your head to a rock, eventually the rock will break. So you need to, because it takes a lot of work, and I think the important thing to do is to do, because if you're doing it because your heart is in it, you feel it. Because I would play guitar and write songs if I wouldn't be a professional, because that's just what I love to do. And then this career, me making a living with music, it's been almost like a bonus. Like I said before, that it's a bonus. But if you're in this with wrong reasons. So you want to be successful and you want to have women and booze and parties and cars and woo. There's a lot of easier jobs in the world to getting that. But it's only a small percentage that gets to that level, but I think to shorten this is do it with your heart and don't quit. Like, don't quit. Because I started at 13. It took me over 10 years to get my first record deal with my first band. Many of the players that started when I started, they've already quit. I didn't, because you just don't quit if your heart is in it. And you know, I was almost 30 when I got to play internationally the first time touring, and now I've toured the world many times. And you know, I'm closer to 50 now than to 40, but I still feel like that 20-year-old kid. But like my path, it's been like 20 years before but so you just have to believe in yourself and do it because you love it, and bang your head to the rock because the rock eventually breaks. Or if it doesn't, then you're
I completely agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bang your head to the. That is my advice. And one good thing is that Michael Monroe, you know, from Hanoi Rocks, a friend of mine, told me when I was younger. He said that Euge, you know, remember that you meet many people when you go up, and you will meet, but remember to always behave, be respectful, take others into consideration, because you will meet the same people when you go down, and everybody goes down at some point. So that was an elder statesman Michael Monroe's advice to a young Euge, and I've tried to behave like that, because I mean, I've been in the business a long time. I have gold albums, whatever stuff, signature guitars. I know better than your average Joe, and no different. I'm just a regular dude. And I actually still consider, because ice hockey was my first love, I still consider me as I'm just an ice hockey player who happens to play a little bit guitar.
Oh, a great advice. I completely agree.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, we're all regular Joes, and you know, we should always remember that, and because you know the steps, because it's been said that there's 6 persons between anyone and between American United President of the United States.
Yeah.
So that's not that much, but there could only be one accident or whatever that separates me from the ditch, being homeless. That's very, I mean, I know people that have been, and all of a sudden something has happened and they are, so you gotta respect what you have and try to, you know, let the good roll. Yeah, appreciate what you have, because you never know.
Yeah,
because we're all the same. We're all the same, no matter the color of our hair or our skin, or we're all humans. And I think that's everybody should remember that you know, so we're the same race.
Yes, it's sad, but it's true. Anyway, that's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining me today. It was so nice sitting down with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Likewise, it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And before this, I remind you that, Devana, watches you from the shadows. And by the way, sweet nightmares. Bye. Thank you so much.
Wake up, get ready. Wake up, get ready. Wake up, get ready. Wake up, get ready. You come alive from nothing and explode like a maroon. Your parents brace your first step like you're Armstrong on the moon. And even if you question what's the reason of it all, they say you've got a purpose, yeah, you feel that you're a doll. You learn to love life, balancing on thin ice. Tell me what's my narrative?